The day is finally upon us. The objectification of babies in The Sims is finally over. Kind of. The babies have spent the last 8 years of their life in crib captivity, but with this new update and expansion pack, we have a new life stage in The Sims for the first time since The Sims 2. So today, I, a childless young adult with skin so youthful, mother stopped me on the street and tried to breastfeed me, will be reviewing this pack.
There's a video on Sunday as well.
Is this thing on? Hello, sinners and siblings, and welcome to another video. You can call me Mother. Parenthood.
Boring.
High school years.
Yawning.
My wedding
Sloppy.
stories. Kids stuff. What do all of these things have in
Lazy.
common? That is not a rhetorical question. I'm going to tell you the answer. Together they make up one Sims 3 expansion pack. And today we add one more pack to the steamy pile of infant crap. Historians will call this the great gentrification of generations. For the longest time, The Sims 4 has felt more like a young adult simulator than an actual life game. So this pack and update has been a long time coming, to say the least. There will also be a lot more coming. The Sims 4 is about to have a baby boom. The number of babies produced is about to astronomically increase. And so with that, let's go make some babies in Create a Sim, not the bedroom. Starting off with the grown instead of the growing, the feminine items are giving MLM Mummy, Christian Girl Autumn, and Babushka. I got 2 looks. And that's it. Both the masculine and the feminine have a lot of items that seem geared towards elders, but spoiler alert, the elders have little to nothing in the game. All I wanted was to hit children with my cane, and I can't even do that. Now, even after his Viagra, Grandpa is still gonna have a limp. Grandpa may not have a walking aid, but he can have a hearing aid. There are new medical wearables in the base game, and we also finally have stretch marks, C-section scars, and top surgery scars. Bippity toppity, your tits are my property. My only critique with these is that the scars are gender locked. Although they were made to be specifically top surgery scars, there are obviously other reasons that somebody might have titty termination. As for the daddies, they could be summarized by Barbecue Dad Starter Pack. Put the baby on the grill. Don't talk about the barbecue baby mod. Don't talk about the barbecue baby mod. Don't talk about the barbecue baby. Put the baby back.
Everybody's so creative.
Oh my God. The kids and the toddlers have some stuff. The kids have new aspirations, but fuck them kids and fuck you too. We are all gathered here for one thing and one thing only, and that is the infant. I would like to see the baby. Now, somebody, not me, forgot to take their custom content out before loading up this pack. So instead of a cute little infant, I got a semen demon. Put that fucking thing back where it came from. Other than that, the cum critters are pretty cute. I mean, they spin around like a rotisserie chicken when you select the trousers. And when you select the teeth, they do this. I'm not putting that thing down for a nap. I'm putting it down. It's not going to reach youth because I'm getting it euthanized. And finally, the infants have 6 traits. I gave mine the intense trait. Oh, you gonna piss and shit and cry? What are you, a baby? Build buy in this pack could be summed up as live, laugh, love, modern farmhouse. The items are nice, but I feel like it's just a lot more of the same. I'm not goo-goo gagging for them. And of course, there are items for infants, so you can make a sad beige baby room. A beige bee or a Barbie baby, bar baby or a goth baby. I don't have a joke for that one. Notable items include the new tree house, of which there is only one version of. So you either get wood or get fire. Although depending on your sexual preferences, that may be the same fit. Sleeping bags, bikes for kids, an upright piano, baby jail, changing tables, which are gate kept to this pack. So if you only have the base game, you just do the classic throw the baby in the air, nappy lands on the floor. Also, there's a lot of suspiciously horse-related items, and I, for one, hope they are exactly the same as The Sims 3. I want the horse to spawn directly into my living room.
The horse is here.
And send me a flirty text.
They already announced the hardback home.
San Sequoia is a San Francisco-inspired ocean bay for those ocean babies. Babies are known for being the fastest swimmers. Another suburban American town. There's lots of parks, a cinema that is a rabbit hole, you just disappear into it, and chairs that you can't sit in because none of it is real. It was all an illusion, and I cannot think of a better place to settle down, raise a family, and get run over by a Prius on my way to the dispensary. And the lots are made by Lil Simsy and Deligracy. How does it
To live my dreams!
We'll be playing with a few different families today. Of course, we have Tisha, Moses, and Malababy Barbie. We also have Joe, Goldberg, Love, Queef, and Child. And finally, Bella, Edward, and Chuck Esme. And together they make the real sim wives of San Sequoia.
She's a fucking bitch!
They are the perfect nuclear family. If fucking Chernobyl was a family... Tisha and Moses were welcomed to the neighborhood with open arms. In fact, Bella and Edward felt so comfortable that they asked to stay over at our house rent-free for a week.
Excuse me, what the actual fuck are you doing in my house?
And got into a domestic in front of everyone at the dinner table. They're just so comfortable.
And you did it at my birthday dinner.
Edward and Tisha do have history per my previous videos. That meant Bella and Tisha got off on the wrong foot. As in Bella wanted to stick her foot up her ass. Up my ass. They have awful compatibility.
You suck.
Compatibility is a new feature and it's based on Sims traits, likes and dislikes, and it means becoming friends with a Sim can actually be a challenge in the game. You can't just spam click get to know, flirt once and then get married on the spot. And I mean, I made Tisha hate everyone and everything, and somehow she still had perfect compatibility with Edward. They're meant to be. Don't let your husband stop you from meeting your soulmate.
What do I do?
Salmonella and Edward brought their crotch goblin with them, unfortunately, and I could not figure out a way to get just Bella and Ritalin to leave. And I mean, I tried everything to get rid of it. I left it behind the bins, like the little dumpster baby it is. When it glitched onto my foot, I tried running around so I could stomp on it. I even left it on Joe from Yu's front porch, and it still came back alive. Spawned right back in the crib with a creepy little smile on its face. So explain to me how Raspberry is immortal, but my baby almost boiled alive in the sun. I thought this pack would be like The Sims 3 where you could just leave them in deep snow. But these infants are much more high maintenance than that. And I am not trying to have a Malibu barbecue today. Speaking of heated, Bella was so rattled by Tisha that she tried to kidnap my baby.
Help me!
As in she put my kid down for a nap. As a parent in this game, you now live to serve and not in a Yas Slay kind of serve way. Like me, this baby required almost constant attention. You can feed them in the high chair once they learn to sit up, or you can breastfeed or bottle feed. Your breast milk, I mean 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 your breast milk. Would you like melon or these melons? When Sims learn new things or experience something for the first time, they'll get something called a milestone, which is sort of like a memory. Sims of any age can have these too. There's just a lot more milestones for infants since they are new to the world. They've literally just escaped the Punani prison. Like for instance, the little squirts can piss on their parents for the first time. Also, if you don't change the baby's nappies, they will get a rash. Mamma mia, my baby's got diarrhea. Splish splash, I didn't change it, now it has a bum rash. Unlike the newborns, the infants are not confined to their crib. They can actually be put down on the floor, which means you can do things like learn to roll over, sit up, and crawl, all of which Malibu can do none of.
None.
Oh, is your baby a week old? Well, like week old little bitch. Take that thing to the hospital. It's bedbound and non-verbal. But whilst they're immobile, you can carry them on your back in a carrier. There are no strollers in the game, so carrying them is the only way to take your pet sperm for a walk. I took my baby to the recreation center, which is a new lot type, so that I could abandon it in the gated baby area and have mummy time. I'm having mummy time. Leave me alone. The Sims Twitter did advertise this pack as having classes at the center, and I suppose if you class multiple Sims playing instruments horribly at the same time class, then yes. But I feel like this is a little bit of a false advertisement. I just wanted some more after school activities for the kids. I want my Sim to go to dance class and have Abby Lee Miller screaming at my 6-year-old that she needs to grow up.
You grow up! 11 years old.
I tried making an MLM club, you know, mummies loving mummies. And while Tisha and Love exchanged friendship bracelets, Bella looked like she wanted to unalive during dominoes. And she's already dead. So I abandoned her and my baby to go on a romantic walk with her husband. Except I did discover that this doesn't really work for vampires. You think you could outrun me? Whilst I was neglecting my child, it learned to roll over, and Bella can roll in her grave.
I look pretty good for a dead bitch.
She's an absentee mother and Tisha is going to replace her. So I did what any normal human being would do in this situation. I built a tree house because I know Edward likes climbing trees. Hold on, spider monkey. Although there's only one tree house, you can decorate it. And you can also add both a slide and a fireman pole, but we don't currently need them. Tish is about to slide onto Edward's fireman pole anyway. Moses parts the sea, but she parts her legs for another man. And whilst Tisha was having her bushes rearranged, Joe from You was in the bush watching.
You are special. You're talented. You're passionate.
But before he could take even one step through the door, Edward took him out, put his ass to sleep, now they calling me Nightwolf. And in that moment, Edward became Joe's Thanos. Tisha can't possibly date a vampire that crawls through her window at night and is constantly resisting the urge to suck her dry like his own personal brand of vape.
You've got a stalker.
That's nice guy Joe's job. And his job is also apparently taking out her bin. Joe takes care of you. Speaking of watching Tisha sleep, an adult slumber party is the perfect opportunity to do so. Yay! You can tell stories, order pizza, prank sleeping Sims, lure unsuspecting vampires into your basement with the promise of vintage books, lock the door, and then Fortnite emote on their corpse and tell everyone else they went home early. The sleepover you never wake up from. Also a new feature in this pack is Sims can change over time. They can change traits depending on things that happen to them. For example, Love got the jealous trait, which feels very fitting seeing as her husband is literally obsessed with another woman. But she didn't hold this against Tisha. She decided to keep her enemies close. And Joe decided to keep his enemies in his basement. He also kidnapped Moses as he was leaving the house. He went out for milk and now he's on the milk cartons. But now who is going to take care of Malibu? Luckily, Tisha had a nanny on speed dial and you can basically raise the toddlers by giving them an iPad. So, mother is not mothering.
Today drained me.
Anyway, now that my baby can sit up and stand, it was time for Malibu's first mukbang, which we of course chose potatoes. She loved them. And she also got the messy eater quirk. You look just like mommy, baby. These are not my hero quirks. They are little extra traits that the infants can gain. Infants can also have preferences for different foods. Don't know why. This literally doesn't affect them outside of being an infant. And Maliboomer was about to age up out of being an infant anyway. It's my Malibu Barbie's birthday. I was just possessed by Barbie. Birthday! Except my birthday party went off more like a gender reveal party. Is it a Trish her or a Malaboy? Luckily, gender reveal parties are not in the game, or else the Sims team would have also had to have added forest fires as a feature of this pack. Also, just as a side note, I know a lot of cis straight people have a lot to say about the trans community right now, but only one of these communities are obsessed with baby genitals. But they did add baby showers to the game. We can finally wash our coochie critters. And this pack also added family reunions and sleepovers, which we have already seen. But Tisha's not pregnant, so who's the baby showering for? Well, thanks to the power of science, Tisha can now have a test tube baby with the ghost of Edward Cullen. Deadwood Cullen. Introducing baby Edward Jr. Patus Cullen.
I look pretty good for a dead bitch.
And through him, Edward will live on. There aren't really any rules to this. You can literally just ask any sim you're friends with if they want to reproduce with you. And you don't even need a genetic sample from them, not even a hair. Test tube babies are a miracle. Speaking of miracle babies, you don't even need a donor daddy or a sperm bank. Just go to the regular bank and for the low price of 1,200 simoleons, you can self-reproduce. This offers some terrifying capabilities. You can populate the whole town with only one Sim's genetic material. Call it Tish Town Tishissippi. You don't even have to carry them to term. They just spawn in via a stalk. Not really. They just appear on your lot. The stalk was just Joe in my garden. Anyway, the newborn babies are still the same, just slightly wrinklier for some reason. I mean, now that infants are in the game, they are old news. And you also get this cute little handprint when they're born. Yeah, they're still not very interesting, but luckily they're only babies for 3 sim days, and Edward Jr. seemed to be aging at an accelerated rate. I mean, look at Ritalin Cullen. She's 103 now. Luckily, that gives us the opportunity to see the 3 new features that elders have, which is passing on keepsake boxes, picking a favorite grandchild, and giving candy to kids. Or if you're Joe from You, giving candy to kids in the back of your van. I also forgot to mention family dynamics. These can be set in Creator Sim or just through gameplay, and depending on whether you have a close, strict, or distant relationships, your Sims will do different interactions. So now you can have a difficult relationship with your racist granddad. Edward was a little bit different from baby number 1. He was much angrier. He hated waking up. He hated being held. He sticks forks in power sockets for fun. The only time he found joy was when the house was on fire. He learned how to smile in the face of chaos. Unfortunately, money got a little bit tight for Tisha. Her mummy vlog channel wasn't really taking off. The lights got shut off because she spent all of her money on nannies.
A is for
I mean, I don't know how people weren't clicking on her videos with bangers like exploiting my children for views, I set my kitchen on fire, I have a stalker.
Put a finger down if you've been personally victimized by Gabby Hanna and she's creepily obsessed and stalking you right now.
In fact, the only person watching her videos was Joe. Even the ones that were a hard watch. He was hard while watching. For some reason, staying over is a one-way street in this game. You can only invite Sims over to your house. You cannot invite yourself over to other people's houses. So Tisha took to squatting. Hello. And I don't mean the exercise kind. That's what a midlife crisis BBL is for. Pack up your things and move in with the Quins.
Are you not wearing a bra? And you want me to notice?
But Joe was acting a bit suspicious around Tish. The gravestone in the front garden, the memory box filled with Tish's half-eaten pizza.
What was that?
I mean, it could all only mean one thing. Joe is Tisha's soulmate. I mean, nobody has ever been so attentive and caring towards her. He's just always there for her.
It's whack-a-doodle time. It is whack-a-doodle.
He doesn't just follow her on social media, he follows her every move. I mean, he ticks every box. He's built a box in his basement to keep you in. You are different.
He was charged with felony domestic assault. Isn't he just so dreamy?
The only problem is the crotch goblins hate his guts. Probably because he leaves a trail of guts everywhere he goes, but he knows what you are. Unfortunately, Love caught them making love in the treehouse, getting wood in the wood. Dan Humphrey, more like Dan Hump Me. She may come back with Henry or a machete. Love makes you do crazy things. Like attempted murder.
I don't even care if you fucked her.
Sounds like you care.
Are you obsessed with her?
Say my name. Say it.
Luckily, Joe was able to convince Love to let her go in exchange for Joe letting her go.
You're a fucking cunt.
If you love something, let it go. So they packed their bags, stole 100,000 simoleons, and moved back into the Malibu Barbie beach house. Chuck Eddie aged up again, and he aged up poorly. Thank God the Sims team finally added childhood trauma to the game, but there's not really a lot of new content for the kids. Teens, I can understand. We literally just got high school years, but literally all the kids can do is learn to ride a bike and lose a tooth. But at the time I was playing, this feature was disabled because of a game-breaking bug.
Oh, bitch, your eyelash bug.
I'm gonna pull all of my teeth out and mail them to EA directly. All of this chaos pushed Tisha to the point of midlife crisis.
I remember when I lost my mind.
This is similar to burnout, which your sim will get if they do a hobby or task too often, but is triggered by your sim having unfulfilled dreams. And Tisha craved closeness, so I decided to pull the ultimate Uno reverse card and start stalking Joe.
I go into the book section where all the intellectuals go, and then I see you. Hello, you. Are you flirting with me?
I do like this feature, but I wish there was more of a buy a pink Lamborghini and get a botch BBL type of midlife crisis. You ain't fucked me, you fucked the old body. Although Tisha did take up to alcoholism, so at least there is some realism. As part of her midlife crisis, she wanted to make new friends, get remarried. Although with Joe, this may end up being an end of life crisis. I mean, even when she wasn't with him, she could feel his presence. And so I decided to abandon my son in a park to free Joe from the clutches of love. Luckily, he made things 10 times easier because she was already trapped in a glass box. All Tisha had to do was smash Joe over the head with a bottle, put him in the back of a van, set the house ablaze so it would look like they all died in a horrible accident, and no one would ever come looking for him.
Let's kill this love.
And before you all flame me in the comments, I added Henry to the household before the house burnt down. It's not kidnapping, it's surprise adoption. As for Joe, the Ken to Tisha's Barbie.
Hi, welcome to Barbie Land.
He had to be kept in mint condition in the Barbie box.
Hi, Ken.
So I built him his own personal Pretty Little Liars Barbie dollhouse. Joe was angry for some reason, but people in glass boxes shouldn't throw stones. Because Tisha and Joe, they are one and the same, just in different bodies. Tisha's a she, her, they, them, and Joe's a man, slaughter. They belong together. A match made in hell.
I want to be in Joe's glass box.
And with that, nature was healed. Joe was behind bars, Barbie bars, and can't get within 6 feet of someone. But 6 feet wasn't enough for little Tedwood Bundy. He wanted him 6 feet under. He knows you culled the Cullen. So when Tisha wasn't looking, he snuck down into the basement, woke up Sleepy Joe from his nap to put him down for his eternal nap. You're joking. And that was the end of Joe and Joe Mama, except for when I bring him back to make a Gossip Girl video. Anyway, onto the review section of this video. I have brought my own baby in honor of this. I'm having a hard time recommending this pack because the features feel like core mechanics, essential gameplay to me, but that begs the question, should it be base game? Like, this pack was very obviously developed alongside infants. They came out essentially at the same time, which means certain features for infants were held back from the base game just to be put behind a paywall. I mean, base game infants just spawn into the game being able to crawl around like a little rat, since milestones are part of this pack. So why is a significant life event like learning to crawl considered expansive content? To me, this really felt like an infant pack as opposed to a family pack. Knowing the Sims team, they'll probably make a whole expansion for elders next. The Sims 4 dying together. I think this pack really just highlights the Sims 4's obsession with breaking down every life aspect into tiny little breadcrumbs, whereas in previous Sims games, they gave us slices of bread that formed a full loaf. Imagine that. Anyway, the moral of this video is that I am mad because the content that's there is good. I just want more of it because I'm a greedy little Sims goblin that lives in little Simsy's basement. Anyway, that was my Sim pack review. I'm not going to apologize for it being late because I've had time to sit on this expansion pack for a while with my big fat juicy Pixar mum ass and think about whether I actually like this pack outside of the shiny new expansion pack hype. And I do, kind of. Bye! Thank you so much to my patrons for supporting my channel. Love ya!